everyone, and welcome again to Get But This Challenge. I'm again in my lab at IBM, and I want to do a small introduction to a framework that I use very easily to classify meditations. Small taxonomy. Of course, the framework that we use usually when we work is a lot more complex than this, but I just want to do a small intro within 10 minutes of time, so to no overwhelm. And even if it's so easy, because it's easy and simple, I think it's useful because it very easily helps you sort to different types of meditations and what you can expect of them. Now, of course, this is a framework and a very simplified one, so please don't take this as a usual analytical tool, but it usually, for a quick understanding, it can be helpful. So, what we're going to think a little bit, this is something that comes up when you basically research meditation for practical appliances and corporations, right? Is what kind of meditation should I bring to this problem, that other problem, or this situation, or what are our goals, what are we looking for? And it's a little bit difficult because there's a lot of techniques, there's a lot of techniques out there, and even someone like me who's not that good at it has accumulated a lot throughout the years. So one of the ways that I use for understanding this is a very simple axis which has two poles, and one pole I'm going to call concentration, and the second I'm going to call metacognition. Let me explain a little bit what those two poles entail. So, what is a concentration meditation? What is concentration? Is a capacity. Concentration is the capacity to focus on one object and just keep my attention, reinvest my attention, secondary terms, within that same object constantly. So I'm going to look at it, look at it, and look at it, and say someone comes and I say, oh, what happens? I waver my attention, then I come back to it. I come back and come back, and of course I'm going to get tired, I'm going to get a little bored, but the practice of concentration is to just reinvest my attention into it. And this produces a kind of meditation that usually focuses on one singular object. And now this object can be internal, can be thoughts. This object can be external, can be, for example, an image, and can be something in between, like a breath. The breath is kind of internal, external, because you can have some control over it, but usually you just have to let it go, and you have to just follow it. And the object can even be a little bit more abstract, like meditation on no object, which actually is a meditation on the thought process. But whatever it is, even if it's a no object, you have a defined goal, and then you focus your attention on it and you keep at it. You keep at it, keep at it, you keep at it. Which kind of meditation, for example, work like this? Well, the two more known are usually what is called concentration on the breath, which is called anapanasati. Whenever a meditation teacher tells you, you have to focus on the breath, just breathe, just breathe, 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 breathe. They're probably talking about anapanasati. And the second one is called the kasina meditation. Now, this is term as less known, but you see when you, for example, go to a meditation place and they tell you focus on a circle or imagine a circle. For example, like keep the circle there, or focus on a circle on a flower, on whatever you want. Just focus on an object and keep your attention on it. This is called kasina meditation. So this basically entails I'll take one object and kind of focus on it. The other pole is just the opposite, of course. It's called metacognition. And in this, the object is not that important, and we should not hold on to it, but rather we just be aware of it and let it go. So for example, I say, I'm going to just focus on my thoughts, what I'm thinking about. So I'm thinking, and then comes a marker, and say, okay, there's a marker, and I just let it go. No, perhaps there's another thing. Perhaps there's, for example, use before, and now comes it, and say, okay, so use before, just let it go. But then comes again a marker. Okay, it's a marker again, and again, there comes a marker. But I'm not holding on to any object itself. The act of looking is my object in this case. And this act of looking is open-ended, and it's usually non-discriminated. I just go wherever it takes me. The only thing I'm trying to is not get attached to an object, which is actually the objective of this one. In this one, I want to be very attached to an object, and in this one, I want no attachment whatsoever. And this, for example, is a very common technique, mainly in the mindfulness techniques. There's the word of it is basically metacognition, or the Buddhist version called vipassana, where you basically become aware of your feelings, of how you feel, and what are you thinking, and how your body is, and so on and so on and so on. But these two, for me at least, are very important and are very, very necessary. Why is that? Because, for example, concentration is like going to the gym. It's hitting the gym, right? It's becoming stronger, and it's very good actually. If you practice concentration, of course you will get tired, more tired than if you practice metacognition techniques. But it's very good because then you gain the basic fitness that you need, the basic strength and the basic stamina to perform difficult tasks. Basically, you become stronger, you become more capable. At the same time, you need metacognition, because if you do this, you gain basically the opposite. You gain relaxation, you gain the ability to adapt. And this always has also the other part. In this one, you can always be stronger, but you will become tired because it's very tiring for attention to be always focused. In this one, you can kind of surf the waves, but you can also fall down because you're not holding tight to anything. So it's very common that you're practicing and you're practicing very relaxed, and then objects come, and this object I want to follow, so I just go away and follow it, and then all your session has been thrown to the trash because you have been so attached to it. So they are both very useful, and concentration gives you one or two things that are great, which is the capacity to have a better attention and improve memory, because you basically learn how to invest your consciousness wherever you want. You can gain control over it, and your metacognition gives you more perception and intuition, because it broadens the areas of humanity you can access. So you can think of this as this the muscle work, and this is the elongation of the muscles. And if you want to be an athlete of the mind, you need both. You need the strength and elongation. So it's very important that you practice both. But now, of course, different styles provides different emphasis. For example, I would say that Shikitansa, Zen meditation, falls somewhere around the middle, because you have some concentration, you have to be focused on being here, and you have to focus on the posture, but you don't have to just think about it. It's not just think on the posture, just be present. So it's kind of something like that. If you, for example, are going to do a mountain meditation, or for example a rain meditation, which is where you recognize and accept what happens to you, it's more on the mindfulness side of it. Of course, there's a framework that you have to follow, but usually entails just, okay, we're going to focus on our bodies. How are we feeling? Do we have some pain? Okay, can we recognize it and let it go? It's more on the metacognition side of it. And if you're going, for example, to do a repetition of sacred names, here, which is the Sufi way of saying do meditation, well, you're going to probably have more concentration because you want to do just the saying of names. You don't want to be going the names of Allah and you're just, thinking, oh, I have to buy some groceries. You want to be a little bit more focused. But even in those cases, you need the other part. If you're doing names, the sacred names, you also need the metacognition to know who you're doing them, who you're saying them. Are you pronouncing them correctly? Because if you do not, this is not good in those systems. You have to pronounce the name correctly. It's just calling God like a champ, for example. And if you're doing the RAIN system, which is basically metacognition, you still need to do it in a systematic way. So you need some concentration to know I am here and I'm going to go there. So there's some sticking to a structure. So in closing, basically, my advice is that you do both. But if you're going to a new place, if you're going somewhere where you need to practice meditation, if you're just going into a situation when you need to basically help with something, you can ask yourself, is there more structure needed? Then we're going to do concentration. Is there more perception needed? Then we're going to do metacognition. And with this, I hope that I just did a shade of under 10 minutes. I think we did it. So I hope that this has been interesting to you. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much and keep subscribed. Bye bye.